Hello, I'm Richard Hooper and this is SatTV Week. Now I'm pleased to be joined by Mike Towner, Senior Director of Sales and Marketing at Teledyne Paradise. Welcome, Mike. Now let me start by asking you, what have the effects of the pandemic had on the company?
No doubt, Richard, that this pandemic has impacted the whole world, obviously, and certainly our industry to speak of. So, while we are considered an essential business, we have been able to remain open for business. And so we have had some challenges, but as a company, one benefit is being a part of a $3.5 billion parent in Teledyne Technologies. We have the infrastructure and support team around us to really deal with issues like this and really be the best choice with regards to de-risking your supply chain at a time like this.
Now, difficult times. Why are people still approaching you about SSPA products?
Well, that's interesting, right? Because the demand has actually been strong during this time, and as I said before, supply chain is an area that we focus on as a group because we deal with a worldwide market with regards to supply chain, our suppliers and our suppliers' suppliers. So we have the infrastructure and resources committed to dealing with this on a daily basis. And we really have a tiger team making sure we have alternatives in place and that we're tracking supply chain very, very carefully. In addition, we've recently consolidated our manufacturing facility into a Northern California location that has a 30-year legacy of total quality management, process control, production control, high volume. And all of this adds up to less risk to our customers because when it comes to logistics chain, to quality, to reliability, to service support, all of those things are even more important today as our customers, they have more difficulty getting to site sometimes. You don't know how the communication or even the logistics getting from site to site are going to impact you. So you want to deal with a company that has the infrastructure to streamline all of that. And we certainly do at Teledyne. Now,
you're still innovating and you've announced a unique dual LS band SSPA. What's it for? Who are the customers? Why is it so special?
Well, we committed about 10 to 15 years ago on really developing and investing in L and S band solid state technology. And because of that investment and time spent, we've been able to recently develop a dual LS band product. And that provides, advantages both on the CapEx and the OpEx side. So from a CapEx perspective, it's rather obvious, right? You're buying one unit as opposed to two. So there's certainly a cost savings there. Then on the OpEx side, having a single unit, you're going to save on power consumption, air conditioning. If it's an indoor unit, you're going to save in space required for the unit, the logistics chain, sparing, et cetera. So really from a value proposition, it really does offer the best choice for our customers who are looking for something in L and S band.
And what about the key markets or applications for the product?
Yes, sure, Richard. So the L and S bands are traditionally used for telemetry tracking and control, or TT&C. So it's satellite station keeping. So this is the link or the circuit that make sure of the health of the satellite and that it is actually operating in its correct orbit, whether it's LEO, MEO, or GEO. So this is absolutely critical, as you might imagine, right? Because if a satellite goes off course or off track, not only, you lose a huge, billion-dollar investment, not only that, but all the traffic that's being carried there. So having a reliable, rock-solid TT&C link is critical in this case.
Now, for this SSPA and others, what are the advantages of solid-state technology vis-a-vis traditional klystron or TWT-based power amplifiers?
Sure, yeah. Well, when we're talking about TT&C, traditionally, klystron amplifiers had been used. They offer a lot of raw power and had been the solution of choice for many, many years. But what's happened is, as earth stations have lost technical capability or resource either due to attrition or just to budget cuts, where they don't have the knowledge base to maintain these klystron amplifiers. And so what's happening is solid state has evolved to where they have a similar power levels, but they have a higher MTBF, a lower MTTR, or mean time to replace or repair. And also, many of them have a modular architecture so that you don't have a single point of failure. So your reliability of this solid state technology is just much greater. And so hence just the natural transition into solid state.
Now, as we've already said a couple of times, unusual times these, but for Paradise, the opportunities for growth moving forward at this time and also over the next 12 months.
Absolutely. So we've got a full broad line of solid state amplifiers from L band up and up. And one of the things we're focusing on in addition to L and S band and seeing a lot of momentum is in our X band, and mainly for WGS terminals. We've been certified on 5 different WGS terminals and in process on several more. And one thing that we've been able to do is develop a novel approach to sealing the amplifiers, because it's very important with regards to passive emissions and radiated emissions. And it's very important for WGS testing at X band, as many of you know. So we find a lot of momentum there and find that we've got a lot of strength there, and think that will continue. In addition to that, we're continuing to develop our modular, no single point of failure architecture, where for customers that really need the highest level of reliability for their critical networks, we seem to have the solution of choice. And somebody who has that type of application really should be talking to us.
Now, one of the things that everybody's been talking about for years is new space. It's changing everybody's thinking. What about yours?
So we have a long legacy in space, not only in space actually on the satellites, but also the ground stations, obviously. So Teledyne Defense and Electronics, which is kind of the parent group that we fall under, they have a team of innovators that are looking at all things. We find that we're selling things into new space, commercial space, but we're also selling things into the traditional legacy space. And we're finding that both groups are changing somewhat to meet in the middle, where all the qualifications for full up rad hardening, legacy space, they're relaxing some of those to become more cost effective and more producible, more in line with new space. So we're really attacking all stages of that, and really highly involved with the spacecraft manufacturers and the OEMs that are really developing this, that we want to be on the leading edge of all of that, from the ground station standpoint all the way up to the satellite.
Well, interesting times, Mike. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you, Richard. My pleasure.